Yo, what's going on, guys? So more new Yu-Gi-Oh cards just got announced, and let's go ahead and check them out. They've got new support for the Zextel weapons, another new boss monster for them, and on top of that, there's an insanely really good card for the Live Twin archetype. You might be able to burn your opponent before they even get a chance, so if you guys are excited about that, drop a like on this video. And on top of that, I have no idea what the heck this new fusion is going to actually do, but it has to do something with, I guess, the Flower/Noble Knights. It's going to be wild, but anyways, let's go and kick it off with the Zextel weapons, as I was a huge fan of these. These are like the OG like super boss monsters that came out and re-emerged you know, in Yu-Gi-Oh. Anyways, the ZW Sylphid Wing is a new light beast effect. It's going to be a level 4 with 1600 defense, 800 attack, and it says you can only control one ZW Sylphid Wing. The second part of the effect is you can target one Utopia monster you control and equip this card from your hand or field to that target as an equip spell that gives it 800 attack. The third part of it says, once per turn, if your opponent special summons a monster with an activated effect, you can make the equipped monster gain 1600 attack. And the fourth part of the effect is, if the equipped monster would activate its effect by detaching materials, you can send this card to the graveyard instead of one of those materials. Oh, that's a pretty decent amount of like stat boost, because it gains an, I guess, does it change this number or does it add it to this so it would be even higher? I'm not actually positive on that, because it already gains 800, but does it just like double it, or is that like a separate number added on? Someone let me know, because the attack could be actually pretty crazy with this. But next up, we have the ZS Oboros Sage, which is a new Dark Warrior effect, level 3, 600 attack, 0 defense points. And it says, when this card is normal summon, you can just special one non-light number monster from your graveyard, but its effects are negated. And if you do equip both this card and one Utopia monster, you control the summon monster as an equip spells that give it 1700 attack each, but you can only declare one attack this turn. The second part is, when a monster this card is equipped to by its own effect, the effect declares an attack on an opponent's monster, you can make the attacking monster's current attack become doubled, but destroy it during the end phase. Okay, so this is really just powering up the ZWs to get insane amounts of damage just for style points. Sure, I guess, because it dies, but again, the whole point is to one-shot your opponent. Okay, now let's check out their new boss monster. This is Leo Utopia Ray. Light Warrior exceeds rank 5, 2500 attack, and 2000 defense points, and it requires 3 level 5 monsters. It says this card's name is always treated as number C39, Utopia Ray. The first part of it says, once per turn, you can attach one material from this card to equip one ZW monster from your deck or extra deck to this card, as if it were equipped by its own effect. The next part of it says, this activation and effect cannot be negated. The second part is, once per turn while this card is equipped with a ZW monster card as a quick effect, you get to target one effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effect, and if you do, its current attack becomes halved. Okay, this is actually pretty decent. I mean, anything that is able to negate stuff is definitely good. Although it's like a once per turn effect, then it's a rank 5. A lot of times you would invest heavily into this. I don't think that the ZW's archetype is really designed to make like negate 5 boards. So I don't know how I feel about like having enough negates, but I mean, it's a step in the right direction for sure, especially if you want to stop something that your opponent has. I wish it was, instead of it was once per turn, is like when the card is summoned, this effect activates, and then that way your opponent can't respond to it as easy. But like this activation can't be stopped, but they'll just negate it when it comes out, potentially, depending on what they're playing too. But nonetheless, that is a pretty cool card. Next up, that we have the Zextel Catapult, which is a normal spell card that says you can only use this card's name first and second effects once per turn each. The first effect is to special one ZW or ZS monster from your hand. Then, if you control a Utopia monster, you can change the levels of all face-up monsters you currently control to 4 or 5. What? This is like actually insane. Then the second part is, if this card is in your graveyard except the turn it was sent there, you can banish this card and one ZW or ZS monster from your graveyard, then target one card your opponent controls and destroy. That's actually a pretty decent effect too. So if you like go for your play and like it doesn't go off, you can at least try to have a little bit of recovery. You do currently have to control a Utopia monster. I wonder if there's any other cards that aren't Xyz that can be like considered Utopia cards. Someone let me know, because this could actually be a pretty big card for a lot of other archetypes, just to change everything, and then you just go off with it, just to use one of them as like a card just to have. It could be pretty big for some crazy plays. Next up though, we have some Live Twin support. This is the Live Twin Troublesome. Here is the artwork on this card over here, and anyways, it's a continuous spell card that says you can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. First part of it says, when this card resolves, you get to add 1 live twin monster from your deck to your hand. So instantly, you get a card off of it. The second part is, each time your opponent normals or special summons a monster while you control an evil twin monster, you gain 200 life points, and if you do, inflict 200 damage to your opponent. Now, this gets really interesting. You can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn, but I'm guessing this effect could proc, like, as many times, right? Can you just run this card with Dark Ruin Nightmare and then tag 2 of them for basically 1,000 damage each? I know you can only activate 1, but I'm thinking that if you're able to, there's probably some other Yu-Gi-Oh card that lets you activate a face-up field spell, or not field spell, a continuous spell card during your opponent's turn, and if there is, let me know. Then you just combo it again with Dark Ruin Nightmare, and that means, well, it's technically, was it 800? No, it's 500 each time. So then if you have 2 of these and just 1 Dark Room or Nightmare, I believe it's 300, and then you could start adding up to, let me double check on this, because this is like chain energy, if you guys remember that card. It's like if your opponent does anything pretty much, they lose, but it's they lose 500 when they normal or special summon or set or activate cards from their hand. But this is like normal or special summon anywhere, right? So this is like a huge boost. Each time your opponent normals or special summons monsters, as long as you control an evil twin, you're gonna be able to get that effect. So what's it, Dark Room of Nightmares 300? Yeah, each time they take damage from a card effect, except for Dark Room Nightmare, so it doesn't activate off of itself, but each one of these, if you can potentially get 2 of these out, that's 500 each, and then that basically means that they would be taking 1,000 every single time they really do pretty much anything in Yu-Gi-Oh! In so many decks, they need to special summon lots of times to really get anywhere in the game. But I think this could be some cool, cheesy little like FTK essentially in the game. But next up, okay, so they revealed these cards for the legendary Duelist 8, but they officially got announced with further details on what the heck they're going to be, because they just released the artwork, I believe, and they're just kind of like, guess what it is. Now they're basically saying what it is. So anyways, first off, the Speedrun archetype is getting some new advanced forms of Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, or even a brand new Wind Dragon Synchro, which we all know that's probably what it's going to be. It'd be a real surprise if it wasn't Wind, because it wouldn't really work with the archetype, as like there's a lot of combos that really limit them on what they can do. Anyways, so this is actually a really a surprising support. So Shieldbearer de Fleur is actually getting extra support. So it's a level 8 Wind Synchro that can negate certain types of cards, not unlike Yusei's own Star Dragon. So maybe if something's destroyed, you can like negate whatever. But we have more confirmation of Sherry LeBlanc strategy, so it's gonna be cards related to that. In fact, the cards that we're gonna be taking a look at in just a second here are gonna be kind of, I want to say, support for. I haven't read them yet. It's my first time checking them out. And then over here, obviously, Lulu's lyrical strategy is going to be here. So the strategy stacks up level 1 winged beast to exceed someone's rank 1 monsters. I think everyone really saw that coming, but now we don't have to argue about what the heck these potentially are, because I know some people were like, dude, that's a Blackwing card. Heck, Blackwings maybe come back in 2021, Kappa, but nonetheless, that's what the cards are going to be. Now, we have some more further confirmation, because one of these cards is related to one of the cards that we'll talk about. Anyways, we got some extra cards coming out in Animation Chronicle 2021. So these are Sherry LeBlanc's cards over here. So first off, I guess they're going to be Noble Knights. So Noble Knight Shieldbearer is going to be a level 4 light warrior effect monster, 800 attack, 1300 defense points, and it says you can only use either the first or second effect of this card's name per turn, and only once that turn. The first part of the effect is, if this card is normal or special summon, you can banish 1 light monster from your graveyard and draw 1 card. Heck, that's actually not a bad effect at all. The second part of the effect is, you can banish this card from your graveyard, banish this card from your hand or face up on the field to add 1 level 6 or lower Wind Wing Beast monster from your deck to your hand. Okay, this is really interesting. So Noble Knight, Shieldbearer. Okay. Next up, though, we have Horse of the Floral Knights, which is a level 3 Wind Beast effect monster, 400 attack, 800 defense points. It says you can only use this first effect of this card's name once per turn. The first part of the effect is, if this card is normal or special summon, you get to add 1 light Noble Knight monster from your deck to your hand. Second part is, once per turn, you can fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material, including this card on the field. Okay. And then next up, we have Noble Knight Spear Holder, level 2 light warrior effect monster, 800 attack, 400 defense points, and it says you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. The first part of the effect is, if this card is normal or special summon, you can target 1 level 8 or lower monster you control until the end phase. Its name becomes Fleur Synchron and is treated as a tuner. The second part is, you can contribute this card to add 1 equip spell from your deck to your hand. Okay, just this effect alone could be potential for some archetypes just to, you know, obviously search out a equip spell can be good for some archetypes. I was even thinking like potentially, since it does have to be a warrior, you can assault combo into this. And then if there is some crazier combos with like Gigaplant, the only time I see like the equip spells, like was it super fights and stuff, there's a lot of crazy combos with that for like OTKs and cheesy FTKs. But next up though, we have the Centaur Mina. So this looks like it's going to be some new fusion level 6 light beast warrior, 2200 attack, 1600 defense points, and its materials are 1 light warrior monster and a beast monster. It says you can only use the first and second effects of this card's name each once per turn. The first part of the effect is during your main phase, you can dispel some 1 level 2 or lower monster from your hand or graveyard. That's actually a really, really good effect. The second part is once per turn, when your opponent activates a trap card during your turn as a quick effect, you can negate the activation. If you do, set that card. Well, it's not really that great because they can maybe use it later down the line, but the third part of the effect is if this card is sent to the graveyard as synchro material for a win monster, you can destroy 1 face-up monster on the field. So I guess basically when you make this, you can bring back something and then instantly use it for a synchro of a win monster, and then you gotta pop a card. Is it that great? I mean, it's a stepping stone. It can set up the graveyard for just another fusion for Sophia Dex Cap, but no, it just doesn't realistically seem like it's that insane. This effect is just what I would consider way too mediocre at this stage. If it said if they did anything, it would bounce that card back to the hand or something, then we're looking at stuff, because traps, imperm is like the main thing, and obviously that's not gonna really help out if you just like reset the imperm if they activate. I just don't see it realistically. Next up though, we have Ecole de Zone, which is a field spell card. That's a really cool artwork. I want to zoom in up on this. That looks really wild. All right, let's check this effect out though. So it's a field spell card that says you can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. The first part of the effective, if the turn player summons exactly 1 monster, destroy that monster. And if you do special summon 1 mass token, spellcaster dark level 1 attack ? Defense ? To the destroyed monster's controllers the field. Its attack and defense become the attack and defense of the destroyed monsters it had, but it cannot attack directly. If this face-up card leaves the field, destroy all mask tokens on the field. Wait, what? The turn player summons 1 monster? They just immediately wait, is this card like OP? That means as soon as that like ruins certain decks, like they need their summon. It says turn player, so that means if I like, you know, do all my combos, then throw it on the field, it's their turn, whatever they summon, they just lose. Dude, is this card OP? Because like, obviously, yeah, it becomes its level and it becomes spellcaster, but obviously, potentially will stop the effect because some monsters, they don't get their effect immediately when they are summoned, right? Some of them you have to activate. I think this card is like insane. This is like the new like amazing field spell card. I think this is a new staple, unless like I'm somehow reading this wrong, and someone comment down below. But if I just combo and then throw this down, whatever you summon, it's just rip instantly. Yes, I understand, you know, they're just gonna summon their like trash monster, but some decks, they need that normal summon to combo off, and they cannot do anything without that. And on top of that, I'm guessing if you negate that summon, right, the next monster they summon, does that still like go through, or is that because, I mean, this card can open up the doors for a lot of different rulings and stuff, and especially if you give them, okay, gosh, this is going to be even more insane. What is that summon limit, right? Because that summons, neither player can summon more than 2 times per turn. So they summon, it gives them the token. They summon twice, GG. This card is OP. I think this card is new best card. Sorry, I'm just freaking out about it because it's been a while since we've seen a card that I think like every deck can run. And like the monster not attacking directly, like, it doesn't really matter. I think that this card is going to be good. Again, it could have other implications for like rulings and stuff, and it forces them to have like a token, which you can then use other cards, like, I don't know, they can change control. This card just opens up a door for content, and I like that. But let me know you guys' thoughts on this card already. I feel like we can make a 10-minute vid on just that. Anyways, Soul Binding Gate, we got more cards. Field Spell. Activate this card if you control no monsters, and set a spell's traps you control which is destroyed by a card effect this turn. During the main phase, if exactly 1 monster is summoned whose attack is lower than your life points and Z1 is in your graveyard, destroy that monster. If you do, take 800 damage, then inflict 800 damage to your opponent. I don't remember. What the heck is Z1? Let's check this out, because I'm sure a lot of people are, what the heck is this? The set card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard. Select a continuous spell or field spell card in your graveyard and add it back to your hand. Okay. Interesting. And then I guess Assault's getting reprinted because, yeah, it works with all that new stuff. Wow, I'm just still freaking out about this card. Dude, I think this card is OP. A new, insane, $100 secret rare, short print, TCG confirmed. But anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts on any of the cards, even though I'm still, like, just thinking about content with this card. But let me know your thoughts down below on anything that we talked about. But thanks for tuning, guys. And if you enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you guys are new here and you do want to see more new Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, make sure you guys subscribe with the bell notification on. And if you guys want to send me in any replays of any of the things we just talked about, feel free to send it in to AzneyesReplays@gmail.com. We have lots of gameplay coming very soon, but if there's new cards, I gotta cover it first. But someone, break this card, please. I know someone's gonna make some OP combo with this. And there's just gonna be some weird stuff with Yu-Gi-Oh with this card for sure. Anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one, and I'm out. Peace. Gosh, that card is ridiculous.